Hello students, welcome to this video lesson. This is a special video lesson I have prepared for you. I am very happy that many students are watching my video lessons on Karnataka CET as I made it very clear. I have been uploading the lessons on different units, that is unit wise. First I will be discussing the concept based MCQs which will help you to revise the concepts. Then I am taking the MCQs of previous year question paper along with other questions. Definitely if you watch all the units, it will be a very helpful material for you to prepare for your CET in a better way. Now this is a special video I have prepared. See, in this video I would like to share with you some of the important tips and procedures which you have to follow for preparing your CET. Definitely it will help you, this is my assurance. Please watch this video till the end, and then you try to follow what I wanted to convey. The topic of this video is like this. See, how to prepare for CET. Let me make this very clear. I hope by now your syllabus has been completed. If not, a few topics may be remaining, but this is the right time to prepare for CET along with your syllabus. Normally students do this mistake. Sometimes they focus only on syllabus in the beginning, and after the completion of annual examination they start for CET. This is wrong. What you have to do is, in the second PUC you have to prepare both syllabus for board examination along with the Karnataka CET. Even if you are preparing for JEE, that is also. Therefore, your preparation should go together. Now, in this video, I would like to suggest what you have to do now, because now you are seriously preparing for the examination, that is board examination, and also for CET. So I have planned the video in such a way that I have taken the question papers from 2014 to 2020 Karnataka CET, because as you know, the new syllabus was introduced in 2013, that is for first PUC, and then the first batch 2014 wrote the new syllabus pattern examination along with the CET. And you know, we are now following the NCERT textbook, and Karnataka CET is also based on this textbook only. Therefore, let me share with you some of the important issues connected with CET so that it will help you to prepare in a better way. Let us consider the 2014 to 2020 question paper of CET. See, I have prepared an analysis of this one unit wise. See, if you closely look at the analysis, these are the things you can observe. First one, relations functions. This is one of the units from which maximum number of questions have appeared in all the examinations from 2014 to 2020. Second unit is trigonometry. From trigonometry you can see here 4, 6, even maximum 8 marks questions are asked, and but there is also variation, sometimes even 2 marks. That means you should also know that there is no fixed pattern. Sometimes maximum number of questions can appear from only one unit also. This is also possible. Then differential calculus, of course, this is another major unit. I have not included first PUC limits. Even then, see, first year there was 11 marks, then 10 marks, then 11 marks, like that. So maximum 11 marks questions are asked from this unit. And then the next integral calculus, this is also a major unit. You can see 6 marks, then 7 marks, even 10 marks, maximum 10 marks question are asked. Then the next one is vector and 3D. If you see vector and 3D together, 9 marks first year, then 6, then 8, like that. So that's also maximum. Then probability, see, this is a small chapter actually in the second PUC. First PUC also it is a small chapter, but see the number of questions. Even 6 marks questions are 6 questions are asked in 2 years. Therefore, this is also another important unit. Then the last 7th, matrices and determinants, you can see here 6 marks, even 8 marks, like that questions are asked. So here when you analyze this one thing is very clear. Whenever you are preparing for the CET examination also, you must give more importance for these 7 chapters so that you can get maximum questions from this. But one thing I would like to caution, since there is no fixed pattern. See, in board examination there is a blueprint, and a teacher has to prepare the question paper based on the blueprint only. One particular unit you have to ask at minimum that much questions only, and maximum marks also fixed. But here it is not like that. For example, you see, from the sets some years there is no question. Similarly, PMI, there is no question in the first 4 years, but 2018, 19 and 20 there is one question. Like that, you cannot say that exactly these many questions will appear from the particular unit, but probability is like this. These are the major chapters from which you can expect maximum questions, so that your preparation also, whenever you are preparing, you can give more importance for these 7 chapters. So that is the idea. But remember, there is no guarantee that, see, even sometimes 8 questions are asked, sometimes 2 also. For example, you see, trigonometry 2016 8 marks, 8 questions are asked, 2018 only 2. Therefore, nobody can guarantee you that this is a thing, but this is overall picture of the question paper. So I wanted to make it very clear in the beginning, so that you can have a proper way of preparing for different units. Now, let us try to understand some of the important things which you have to observe from this. Even among 7 important chapters, there is no fixed pattern. So, as I told you, marks may vary. Then we cannot leave any chapter. For example, there are 3 years, 2018 to 20, PMI question have appeared. Therefore, you should not leave any chapter. So, if you are leaving, that means that much you are losing. Even from small chapters, many questions are possible. Differential equation, there are normal, sometimes 3 marks, 3 questions are asked. Then there is no blueprint. This is very important. Don't guess weightage for different chapters. As I told you, the 7 chapters which I have mentioned, so far maximum questions have been asked. That's what we can say, but we cannot guarantee you. That is very important. Then 7 units that you have to focus, of course. Let me repeat once again. So these are the units you must prepare thoroughly, giving more importance. So definitely it will cover maximum area. So this is one important thing which you have to remember. Next, interdependence of different units. Though sometimes questions are not asked, for example, even though some units have more weightage, you cannot totally neglect other units. For example, you see, probability requires knowledge of permutations and combinations. Therefore, even though permutation, combination, direct questions may not be there, but to understand probability, you need permutation, combination. Therefore, my suggestion is you must thoroughly revise first PUC, all the topics, and also second PUC. This is one thing. Knowledge of relations and functions, for example, these are all interdependence. Limits is necessary for differential calculus. See, without understanding relations and functions, limits, you cannot understand anything in differential calculus. Therefore, you should not prepare only for the sake of examination, that from this chapter these many questions will be asked, therefore let me prepare only this chapter. That is wrong. Then the third one is, you cannot do any sums in integration without the knowledge of differential calculus. Please note, without the proper understanding of the differential calculus, you cannot understand integral calculus. Therefore, these are all interdependence. Of course, there are many other. I am just giving you some examples. Interdependence of first PUC and second PUC. That is very important. Whenever you are preparing for CET, please note, you should have the textbook of first PUC and second PUC. That is number one thing. Continuity of the same unit, there are many. For example, relations and functions you have started studying in first PUC. This continues in the second PUC, you know already. And you can understand the second PUC concepts of relations functions only when you are thorough with the first PUC. Similarly, we see trigonometry and inverse trigonometric functions. They are related. Without the knowledge of trigonometry properly, you cannot understand anything in inverse trigonometric functions. Similarly, limits and derivatives and differential calculus, they are interdependent. See, even among the chapters also, for example, you take application of derivatives, you should know what is differentiation. Similarly, integration, you should know what is differentiation. Suppose you want to solve any question in differential equation, without the knowledge of integration and differentiation, you cannot do anything. Therefore, all these things are interdependent. Therefore, you should know how to prepare. Then probability, for example, starts in the first PUC, then it continues in the second PUC. So then linear inequality and LPP. like this in vector and 3D. All these things are what I want to make you is see that you don't study chapter as a separate unit. You should always think that it is a whole. The holistic approach is very important here, especially for the preparation of CET. Then how to prepare? Let me give you some practical suggestion. So first one is, when you are preparing for one unit, revise all the related units of first PUC as well as second PUC. For example, while preparing for differential calculus, say chapter 5 and chapter 6, first revise limits and derivatives of the first PUC. See, this will help you in another way. It will save your time also. You take these three together, limits, derivatives of the first PUC, then chapter 5 and 6, second PUC. Together you prepare, and then it will be very helpful for preparing for CET. Secondly, probability should be studied together, that is first PUC as well as second PUC, especially for CET. Then trigonometry and inverse trigonometric function should be studied together. Study integral calculus only after studying differential calculus. These are the sequences you should follow. 3D and vectors should be prepared together, and it is always better to study three vectors first, then you study 3D, so they are related. Then study differential equations after differential calculus and integral calculus. Then matrices and determinants should be prepared together, because though it is a separate chapter in your textbook, when you are preparing for CET, please revise the determinants first, then revise matrix also, then prepare for CET. Then LPP and linear inequality, because linear inequality is a must for LPP. So all these things you should bear in mind whenever you are preparing for CET. Then next one is, which book to see. Normally students ask, sir, which book we have to refer, which is very very important. One normal mistake what students do is they acquire lot of books, so many books they acquire, but they don't have time to prepare for this thing, and then confusion, then tension also, because so many books are there, I have not prepared anything. So please don't do this mistake. This should be your priority. First one is, revise NCERT textbook first. That is the first source book which you have to be thorough. Second, work out the examples from exemplar. So there is an additional book, exemplar, and it contains very difficult questions, very easy questions, MCQs. It will be a very good preparation for you for even JEE also. So the third one is, refer old question papers, that is from 2014 to 2020. All the questions are available, question papers are available. Even sometimes some private publishers, they publish the book also. So take any one of them, and always refer the old papers whenever you revise the unit. This is a very good preparation actually. And I am planning to upload the complete solution shortly. That means now I am actually uploading the lessons unit wise, so that it will be very much helpful for the students who are preparing for CET. At the end, I am planning to upload video lessons on each question paper, that is 2014 to 2020, so if possible. But meanwhile, you yourself can prepare for this type of preparation. Then after completion of these, you can refer any other good text. See, I don't say that you should not refer any other textbook. Actually, good students always should refer lot of books, because referring to lot of books will give you lot of different questions. So books are really good, they are our friends, but we should know how to make use of it. Because I have seen the students preparing for competitive examination like this. First only they take all the advanced books, and then they lose confidence, because they don't understand anything if you take advanced textbook. Therefore the first step is NCERT textbook, then exemplar, then of course along with old question papers. So this will be the first level of preparation. Once you are thorough, then you can go to any other book. So I don't say you don't refer, but this should be the order. Then this one is very important, daily practice to gain speed. See, normally students ask this question whenever I am uploading the lesson, or even offline classes when I teach for CET, because I have been doing this for so many years. Our emphasis on concept clarification. See, whenever I solve a problem here, I am not telling you how to do it in examination. That is different. I am just telling you how to solve the problem, because as a teacher, my job is to convince you this is how a question should be solved. But in examination, when you are preparing, it should be different. So the best method is this. Normally students ask, so such a 1 mark questions, they are asked such a difficult question, very lengthy, how to do it? Actually, it is not the question of lengthy or 1 mark question, etc. First, what you have to do is prepare a timetable and revise the topic week wise, combining both first PUC and second PUC. See, during preparation, you to solve one question, you may need more time, but whenever you practice a lot, definitely speed comes automatically. So speed you need not worry when you are practicing. This is one thing you have to remember. So the best thing is this: select about 15 to 20 questions from old papers or reference material or old other reference textbook. After studying one unit, say test yourself by noting the time you take. At the end of you have to check the answer. See, this should be your preparation. Take one unit, for example trigonometry, together first PUC as well as second PUC. Then revise the entire unit. Solve a few questions first. Then you take some 15 to 20 questions from either old paper or anything. Write in a notebook. Then solve it actually. And you also record the time. See, what happens is over a period of time, speed comes automatically. And some of the shortcuts and some of the steps which you can avoid, everything will be revealed to you only. You need not worry. Second, maintain all the written work of this which you may help you later, because whenever you are preparing for the CET, not only CET, even board exam also, you should have a written work. You should maintain a record, separate notebook. You should work out all these questions very neatly, so that in future, suppose when you are referring once again old paper, one particular question you don't know the solution, you can refer back. Oh, I have done this question earlier while preparing. So that saves a lot of time. So this is what you have to do for practice, and this should be a daily practice. Please note, have a timetable, and daily even half an hour it is sufficient. For example, you have to study for mathematics along with physics and chemistry and other subject also, in biology also. Therefore you must have a time. Normally for mathematics it takes more time because you have to work. So this is one good practice which you have to do. Then the next, about shortcuts, I would like to share with you. Please don't mistake me. I am not against shortcuts, because there are many good teachers who are teaching shortcuts. But as a teacher, let me tell you some of the things. Unless you understand the concepts, these shortcuts are of no use. Nowadays, I have seen students even in video, this YouTube also. Lot of students are asking, sir, you please teach us shortcut methods. Actually, you should remember this. Let me show you one example. See, this question is asked in 2020. See, the value of sine square 51 degree plus 39 degree equal to. So let me show you. As a teacher, when I want to teach you, this is what I do. Sine square 51 plus sine square 39 equal to sine. Here I am writing sine square 90 minus 51. So this will be equal to now, because sine square 90 minus 51 is sine cos 51. This is the formula. Therefore, this is 1. You know the answer. And the same question is asked in 2020. Now, let me show you what is the shortcut. See, shortcut is this. So, sine square a plus sine square b is 1 if a plus b equal to 90. You can see here 51 plus 39 is 90. But who should teach you the shortcut? If you know the concept very well, as a teacher, I need not show you the shortcut, because shortcut will reveal to you. So what is my idea is, normally whenever I train the students, I never focus on shortcut. Normally I teach the concept first. Then of course, side by side, this is how we can do it. So what is very important is, if you think that only shortcuts will help you, it is wrong. So first you have to understand the concept, which is very important. Next, too much emphasis on shortcut will make you poor learner of mathematics. Some students, they think that it is just like pressing a button, you get the answer. Shortcut means you press the button, it's a machine, and you get the answer. Actually, it will never happen. And another thing is, how many shortcuts you can remember. See, imagine in trigonometry, there are hundreds and hundreds of formula. There is a scientific way of understanding the formula, because if you understand the concept, and if you know the internal relationship between different formula, it is very simple to reconstruct the formula. Therefore, what is important is, how do you understand a particular unit, not the shortcuts. Shortcuts, actually you yourself can do it. Each problem requires different way of thinking. So how many such shortcuts you will remember? It is not possible. Therefore, what is important is, you develop the understanding of the concept, try to acquire the skill of solving problem. Once you understand the concepts and acquire the ability to solving the problem, The regular practice will reveal you the, you only will understand, because in the previous question I have shown you sine square 31 degree plus sine square 59 degree something, the 30 anything, it should be, sum should be 90. So here if you understand that one, just by looking at the option you will say okay this. But remember, all the questions cannot be done through shortcuts. That's also there. If you take 60 questions of Karnataka CET, there may be 4 or 5 questions where you can use these shortcuts, but all the rest depends on problem solving ability, understanding the question. Therefore, it is not necessary that somebody else should teach you the shortcut. You only should develop the understanding of the concept. Definitely shortcut you only find. My experience shows most of my old students who are toppers in CET, they never bothered about shortcuts actually. Let me tell you this secret. Normally the good student who is preparing for CET, they don't worry about shortcut. They want to solve the problem, and the speed comes automatically through practice. Therefore, but they were very good in solving problems. So first you, I don't say you don't worry about shortcuts. Definitely you prepare and try to get as many shortcuts as possible, but more than that, what you should focus is solving the problems, understanding the problems. Then there is no shortcut to success. Please note, this is maybe philosophical, but it is true. So only hard work. So if you think only in terms of shortcuts, probably you will be you will not be able to understand the concepts. Therefore, don't worry, especially during this stage, about the shortcuts alone, but study the concept, prepare well, how questions are asked, all those things you have to focus, so that definitely it will help you to prepare better. I wish you all the best, because you may be seriously preparing for this examination. You must prepare, because this is the best opportunity for you to prepare, and this is the right time to start. Therefore, I'm planning to upload this video so that it will may help you, those who are motivated already, to prepare for CET. Definitely during examination, that is after board examinations are over, you have sufficient time to prepare once again. There I will definitely upload some more video lessons of this type. At the last stage, how you have to prepare. For example, in question paper there are certain directions, how to follow the directions, all those things. Now at right now, don't worry about this type of questions. For example, whether negative marking is there or not, then etc. Remember, these are all the questions which you should think only after you get your brochure, and then once we apply for the examination, because every year there may be changes in the examination pattern. Therefore, don't worry now about those things, such issues. Now you focus only on subject and preparation. So rest of the things it will take care of its own. Don't worry. So prepare well, be sincere, be hardworking, and revise both first PUC and second PUC, and then prepare. Once again, all the best. So thank you for listening to this video. Hope you appreciate this. Definitely along with this one, I will be uploading regularly the video lessons on this Karnataka CET unit wise. Please subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and share with your friends. Let us meet in the next session. Of course, I will be uploading the MCQs related to different units. Till then, bye. Take care.